nation. Hebrew kingdom building.
All right. So we done got that. Everybody online, y'all doing all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes. Hallelujah.
So we should be back on track. We're going to do a little bit of review. Thanks to all those that are online that's going to see this later. Appreciate all your fellowship and being with us online. We missed a few weeks. We had some personal things going on. But we back online and ready to move forward with no Hebrew left behind. Hallelujah. All right. Now, let me change and get out there right there. Who can tell me, can they see that good? Who can tell me the 4 things that makes up a kingdom? When he says, repent because the kingdom is coming, what is he saying? Anybody online or anybody in the house? All right, he must say the king.
Subject.
Say it again.
King, territory, subjects, and the Torah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise the Most High for that. All right, that's good. We hear that. Okay. Can somebody tell me the definition that we said of a kingdom? Did you write it down somewhere? Somebody wrote it down now.
I wrote it down.
Somebody wrote it down, I hope.
Can you repeat the question?
The question is, can you tell me what we said, the definition in words of a kingdom? I know we know what the makeup of a kingdom, which is a king, a territory, subjects, and law.
Okay, I got it.
Who got it?
Jacob Dakota.
All right, let me hear what you got.
A kingdom is the governing influence of the king Yahusha over his territory, impacting the territory of his will, his mind, and his original intention, producing a citizenship that would display the culture and nature of a king.
Of a kingdom. Of the king.
Got it.
You said that kind of fast. Say it again and say it slow. The governing influence, go ahead.
The governing influence of the king Yahusha over his territory.
Over his territory. Where's his territory? Where's his earthly territory going to be?
Jerusalem.
There you go. There you go.
Impacting the territory with his will.
His will, which is his law, which is his Torah.
His mind.
And
his original intention, producing a citizenship that would display the culture and nation of a kingdom.
Hallelujah. The governing influence of a king over his territory, impacting the territory with his will and his mind, that would produce a citizenship that would display the culture and the nature of the king. Hallelujah. So we went over some of the scriptures that spoke of the king coming. Do anybody remember that? Did we upload it? Did I upload that video?
Yes. That was 9.
The one about the king?
Yeah, that was 9, I believe.
Okay. Give me say I upload it. I'll upload it then.
Let me look again.
All right. So can somebody give me a scripture of the coming king? Yes, I'm going to give me y'all answer.
Jeremiah 23, 5 through 6.
What did it say?
Give me a second.
You put it up 2 weeks ago.
I did that 2 weeks ago. Hallelujah. Praise the Most High for
Jeremiah
that.
chapter 23, verses 5 through 6 says, Behold, the days come, saith Yahuwah, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and the king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. In his days, Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely. And this is his name whereby he shall be called, the Lord our righteousness.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Anybody else got another one?
What was that one?
What was call out that what you just read, Kimberly?
That was Jeremiah 23, 5 and 6.
Jeremiah 23, 5 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
And give me one more. Even if it's one that you got on your own. Because I didn't give all of them.
How about Acts 2, 29 through 36?
Talk to me.
Okay. So it says, Men and brethren, let me freely speak unto you of the patriarch David, that he is both dead and buried, and his sepulchre, I can't say that, is with us unto this day. Therefore, being a prophet and knowing that Yahuwah had sworn with an oath to him that of the fruit of his loins, according to the flesh, he would raise up Yahusha to sit on his throne. You want me to continue?
Well, you can read as far as you want to. Go ahead. You got the mic.
Okay. He seeing this before spoke of the resurrection of Yahusha, that his soul was not left in hell, neither his flesh did see corruption. This Yahusha hath Yahuwah raised up, whereof we all are witnesses. Therefore, being by the right hand of Yahuwah exalted, and having received of Abba the promise of the Ruach HaKodesh, he hath shed forth this which you now see and hear. For David is not ascended into the heavens, but he saith himself that Yahuwah said, Unto my Elohim sit thou on my right hand, until I make thy foes thy footstool. Therefore let all the house of Israel know assuredly that Yahuwah hath made the same Yahusha whom ye have crucified, both Elohim and Mashiach.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All praises to Yahuwah.
Hallelujah.
Ain't that a beautiful thing?
Yes,
that
it
Yahushua
is.
being raised and being exalted to sit on the right hand. That he's sitting on the right hand until his enemies be put on his footstool. Ain't that amazing? That means that everything that we need and what we desire, we can have access to it. He's just waiting on the call to go. And we waiting on it too. Because I'm tired of these folk. You hear me talking? I'm tired. I'm just ready for it. Just come on here. You know, I pray I'll be ready though. But I'm ready. Come on, Yahusha. Come on, your horse with your sword. I want to see your vesture look like it got wine grapes on your robe.
Take him down.
Go on in on them. With this wicked people and nations oppressing this people. All right, so now that's good. That's good. We're gonna be short tonight. But we're gonna hit this. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right. Now, all kings have territories, right?
Yes.
All kings have territories, and a king mindset is to have his territory, but his mindset is to expand his dominion.
Yes.
Somebody say expand his dominion.
Expand his dominion.
A king never wants his territory or his dominion just to be at his central location or in the homeland. But he wants his dominion to be spread out in order to conquer every nation, that he may receive his glory and his honor, and his reputation may go out among all the nations that he conquered.
Yes.
The same as in the beginning. with the Most High. The Most High didn't just want his territory to be in the Shamayim,
Right.
which is the heavens.
Yes.
That's why earth was created. So what? He can have an even greater dominion on earth, but not through his physical, representation, which would be himself, but he would send an ambassador that would display his mind and conquer earth and make his dominion be here.
Hallelujah.
Right? That's why it talks about the earth and the fullness thereof is who? Yahuwah. But he has given, let's go to Psalms 8 real quick.
Okay.
Psalms 8. I tell you what.
Got it.
Yeah, Mama, you got Psalms 8? Somebody get me
Yes.
Genesis 1 and 26. Or 1 and 25. When you have it, whoever have it, read it.
Psalms 8.
Read Genesis 1 and 25 first. And go on down to 26 through 28.
1 and 25.
Yeah, Genesis chapter 1. I want you to start at verse 25. And I want you to go down to verse 28. And then we're going to jump to Psalms 8.
And God made, or Yahuwah made, the beast of the earth.
Uh-huh.
That one? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahuwah made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And Yahuwah saw that it was good.
All right, so Yahuwah made the animals. He didn't make the animals in his image or his likeness. Right? Animals we're going to see
Right.
that have been given to have dominion over. They don't have a covenant with the Most High. Right? But they was made, but then he made an entity in which he's going to give dominion, in which he's going to give his likeness, in which he's going to give his spirit, and which he's going to give dominion. Right? Read that. The next verse. 26.
And Yahuwah said, let us make man in
Oh, let who?
Let us.
All right, we're going to deal with that. Let us Saturday. Be there.
Hallelujah.
We're going to start our series on who Yahusha is
Hallelujah.
and who Yahuwah is and who really is the God or the allure of Israel and who is the source of the whole earth. We're going to dig in there and really uncover some stuff to really give an understanding about who Yahusha is. Hallelujah. So be that Saturday. All right, verse 26. Let's roll.
And Yahuwah said, let us make man in our image,
Mm-hmm.
after our likeness,
Mm.
and let them have dominion.
Let them have what?
Dominion.
So he wanted to not only rule from the heavens, but his dominion must be on earth with somebody that have his image and somebody that have his likeness. The same thing if I was to say that I don't just want the dominion of rebirth to be in Augusta.
Right.
I just don't want the dominion of rebirth to be in Anderson. But I want the dominion of rebirth to be all over the states.
Yes.
Having what? Our image
Yes.
and our likeness. Because rebirth have a certain image and have a certain likeness. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So this would mean that other people would have to go out and create the image and likeness of rebirth. Even though this would be our territory, Augusta, but our dominion would go out in the earth. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
That would give us glory.
Hallelujah.
Are we seeing that?
Yes.
All right, keep going.
Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea,
Mm,
and over the fowl of the air,
mm,
and over the cattle, and over all the earth,
mm.
and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth.
All right, so who has that dominion? We're still talking about territory. I'm showing you the pattern of the heavens and the earth. Who has that dominion?
Man.
Man, but not just man. What does man have to have?
Dominion.
Read it again.
Okay.
What does man have to have? Because man image has been corrupted. So this person is the only one that can have the dominion now. Right.
The man that's in the image of you.
There you go. The man that is in the image and the likeness of Yahuwah. Now,
Yahuwah.
well, I'm going all over the place. But let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go to Colossians. Oh, what you got? Let's go to Colossians. Cause we're gonna see we're gonna see who really gonna have dominion in the end. Colossians chapter 1. We're gonna start at let's start at verse. I like all of it though. Just in case y'all ain't reading this, because you're supposed to be reading Colossians 1 and 9, so we just gonna go on up. But remember that image and likeness.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Let's go to Colossians 1, start at verse 9. Anybody want to read it? Come on, y'all. Mama ain't gonna read all of them. Come on, let's get in there.
I'll read it.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's read.
Okay, for this cause we also, since the day we heard it, do not cease to pray for you, and to desire that ye might be filled with the knowledge of his will in all wisdom and spiritual understanding.
That's a powerful scripture there.
Yes.
Keep going.
That ye might walk worthy of Yahuwah.
Oh, I want to walk worthy of him.
Unto all pleasing, being fruitful in every good work, and increasing in the knowledge of Elohim, strengthened with all might according to his glorious power, unto all patience and long suffering with joyfulness, giving thanks unto the Father, which has made us meet to be partakers of the inheritance of the Kodashim in light, who has delivered us from the power of darkness and has translated us into the kingdom of his Yaqid, in whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sin.
All right, so we see in verse 13 that we have been translated into the kingdom of Yahusha. That's the next kingdom that's coming. The kingdom of Yahusha is where you have to be translated into. Not yet the kingdom of Yahuwah. Because that's another dominion that's coming after Yahusha's reign.
Yes.
You see that?
Yes.
It show you how important Yahusha is. All right, now read verse 15. Now remember, Genesis 1. The only person that's going to really be able to have dominion, you got to be in his what?
Image.
And his what?
Likeness.
All right. All right, now we talking about Yahushua right here. Let's see, because we need, Hebraically, I need something that I can see that puts me in the remembrance of a pattern in which I can follow. Like it'll be something if I just say, man, being the Most High image and the Most High likeness, right? That sounds good, but how does that work? How can I make that applicable? How can I make that a daily thing? It has to be something or somebody that has done that I can pattern my life after.
Yeah.
So I ain't just in the wind doing what I think is right in my own eyes.
Hallelujah.
We saying that?
Yes.
All right, read that. Verse 15.
Who is the image of the invisible Elohim?
Who is the what?
The image of the invisible Elohim.
Who is? Who is the image?
Yahusha.
Yahusha. So if I want to know what his image is and his likeness that I must be reborn into, then it has to be a person.
Hallelujah.
Right? Keep going.
The firstborn of every creature, for by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him.
Hallelujah.
Keep going.
Yeah.
And he is before all things, and by him all things consist. And he is the head of the body, the called out assembly, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that is in all things he might have preeminence.
Hallelujah.
For it pleased the Father that in him should all fullness dwell, and having made peace through the blood of his cross, by him to reconcile all things unto himself. By him, I say, whether they be things in earth or things in heaven. And you that were sometimes alienated.
Oh no, we good.
Okay.
We good right there. So we got what we on because we know all the fullness of the Godhead gonna dwell in him. So he's the image and the likeness. right? And a better way to even see that even greater in Yahushua and what he did, we're going to go to John 5, and I just read it. In verse 19. John 5 and 19, it says, And Yahushua answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto you, if you want to be in the image, this is what you got to say about yourself. The Son, or let's say it together, say I.
I.
I don't hear y'all online. Come on now. I know it's been a minute. I know it's been a minute. Say I can do nothing of myself. But what I see the Father do. For what things soever he doeth, so likewise me. So that's the mindset of how to have dominion over the earth. Because you have dominion in the spirit realm first and then have dominion over the earth. Being made in his image and made in his likeness. So all of man don't have his dominion. We seeing that. You have to be in his image and you have to be in his likeness. This should give you even greater confidence. That's why you shouldn't have a mentality of defeat. Because you're walking as close as you can or with a perfect heart. That might not mean that your walk is consistently perfect, but your heart towards him is perfect. Therefore, keeping you in his image and his likeness, giving you confidence to come boldly. To come boldly before him and ask the things that we need. We seeing it. All right, so now let's go back to Genesis 1, then let's read Psalms 8. Well, I done made my point, because I said I'm going to be short.
Okay.
Go to Psalms 8.
And 1 or?
Yes, ma'am. Psalms 8. Well, let me see. Psalms 8. Ooh, y'all all right? Psalms 8 and 3. Anybody online want to read that?
When I consider the heavens, the work of thy fingers, the moon and the stars which thou hast ordained.
All right, notice what it said. The work of the heavens, the finger, with your fingers, the moon and the stars, which you ordained. Keep going.
What is man that thou art mindful of him?
What is man that thy mind is full of him? Right? And what does it mean for your mind, for somebody to be mindful of you? What does that mean?
Consider.
Think about. Care about.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you and your children. You mindful of your babies, ain't you? You always think about them, aren't you?
Taking care of them.
You're taking care of them. You let yourself go lacking for them, won't you?
Yeah.
All right, keep going.
And the Son of Man, that thou visitest him.
Now notice this, that the Most High visited his creation, which would be us. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? That he want to stop all he doing to see about your little problem. And to give you a word and say, it's going to be all right. Now let me go back and start back working all the stuff in the whole world problem. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But notice, it talks about right here, what is man that thou mind for him, and the Son of Man that thou visited him. So who is it talking about when it says the Son of Man? I think about what we just said in Genesis 1. Huh?
Yahushua.
All right, but who is the Son of Man that he's visiting?
The one that's in his likeness.
The one that's in his likeness. So when this scripture is written, when this scripture speaks of, it's talking about the nation of what?
Image.
Israel. Because he says what? Israel is the only family that I have what? No. Right? You're the only family that I have gave my laws, my statutes, and my commandments with. I have not dealt so with any other nation.
Yes.
So when he's speaking right here, he's talking about an elect within the nation of Israel, because he don't go visit everybody.
Right.
He didn't go visit them other nations. He wasn't mindful. He's mindful of Israel. And as that relates to the other nations, because they are the priests of them. We see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Verse 5.
For thou hast made him a little lower than the angels, and hast crowned him with glory and honor.
So he crowned him with glory and honor. What is that?
Kingship.
Kingship? What is glory and honor? Okay, mama say kingship. What kingship?
Priesthood or
Okay, priesthood. What else? Think about, where is the Most High glory held?
oh, it's dominion.
Authority.
Okay, authority. Where's his authority at?
Jerusalem, dominion.
In the earth.
His kingdom.
His kingdom.
But where's his center place?
Jerusalem.
In the heavens.
Oh.
It says his glory is above the heaven, but then he crowned us. Because remember, glory ain't just, oh, glory, come on, come on, come on. Who is Melech Kabo? It ain't just that. But what is glory from an ancient perspective?
Yeah, it's okay.
Glory from an ancient perspective deals with its dominion, its rulership. Now he's saying he visited you. Number one, he's mindful of you. Number two, he comes to visit you.
Yes.
To set you a little lower than his malaks, right? And we don't even know what order of malaks is he speaking of. That we're a little lower in. That's another lesson for another day. It says, but thou hast crowned him with that same glory and honor of the Shama'ims. That's greater than any glory or honor in the earth. I don't care if you're talking about the glory of Assyria. I don't care if you're talking about the glory of Mizraim, which was glorious at one time. I don't care if you're talking about the glory of Babylon, which was glorious at one time. I don't care if you're talking about the glory of Sumer, which was glorious one time. I don't care if you're talking about the glory of Greek or Rome, and Rome dominion was strong. All the way down to America, he said, I have crowned you with the glory of heaven and crowned you with the honor of heaven. Ain't that amazing?
Amazing.
Ain't that amazing?
It is.
This is what make you above all nations.
Wow.
Because you don't come from earth. You come from the Shamayim. We see that? All right, now this what I want, because he want to rule, but he don't want to do the work.
Right.
The Most High ain't finna do the work. He did it all. He got people to do that for him. Go on out there. I ain't finna do it. Because if I come down, somebody got to die.
Yeah. We're in trouble.
We're in trouble. He said, if I get down there, everybody gonna be dead. Right. If the Most High say, because he said, you can't see me and what? Live.
Yeah.
So if he come, the whole earth dead.
Yeah.
Animals, bugs, roaches, gnats, and his fullness. So he said, I'm going to send portions of myself to colonize the earth to make it like heaven. Right? Yeah. And this is why everybody that he dealt with, from Abraham to Moshe to Dawid, when they was building the kingdoms or building temples, he told them to do it after the pattern of what? The Shamayim. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
All right, so let's read verse 6. Is this helping you a little bit?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Y'all, I want us to think like this. We gotta quit thinking like Gentiles.
Yes.
We gotta quit thinking like domesticated gods.
Yes.
You don't know the power you possess. You don't know the country that you come from. You don't know the dominion that you have, that you've been crowned with, the glory and the honor that has been placed upon you. But we've been broken down so much to the mindset of a slave. And all the slave know is how to be a servant. He got to cry for everything he want. He got to beg for everything he want. And he never see a way out. He's always looking at, this is going to be my life in totality. Never believing his king or knowing where he come from, because we've been stripped of that confidence. You see what I'm saying? You look at the men, the women through the scriptures, we have been stripped of our confidence in our allure and in our kingdom and where we come from. This is why we stay in the mindset of a slave. And this is why we are in the greatest time that we can ever be in the awakening back to the kingdom of the Shamayim that we was at before, and awakening back to that confidence and awakening back to that glory and that honor. Therefore, nothing is withheld from me if I walk uprightly and if I carry his image and his likeness, which is a person, Yahushua HaMashiach, which is our king. He showed us the way. Am I making sense?
Yes.
Because I want to get that. I want to get to the territory. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Verse 6. Read that.
Thou madest him to have dominion over the works of thy hands.
Stop.
No.
Boy, I said I wasn't gonna be long. All right. What is the works of his hands? Because he began to speak on. He'll show you the sheep, the oxen, and all that type of stuff. What else is the work of his hand? Go on, read the next part.
Thou hast put all things under his feet.
Thou hast put all things under his feet. So he made him to have dominion of the works of his hands, and he put all things under his feet. Right? What is some of the dominion that we have that's the works of the Most High hand? Anything. It can be anything. No wrong answer to this one.
Works of his hand.
Right. Like we're gonna go from a spiritual perspective. Y'all can get spiritual now. You say something? Okay, the Ruach. Alright. Alright. Well, the Ruach gonna have dominion over us. But we're gonna be able to flow in the Ruach of gifts.
Yes.
Right? What else? Because the Ruach of gifts is the works of his hand.
I would say the mantle that he specifically gives each individual.
Oh, yeah. The works of his hand is the specific mantle. The mantle that's what in us is coming where? Upon us. So we come from a lineage of mantles being passed down. Just why the same mantle that was on Elijah came up on who? Elisha. Right? But it always come with a greater portion.
Greater.
Right? The same mantle that was on Yahushua came up on what? The 12 disciples.
Yes.
Right? With a greater portion, because what they did, greater works.
Yes.
Right? And then how much greater should we be?
Much greater.
Right? Because this mantle that came down through the genes, is waiting to be unlocked, to be manifested, that we may conquer the territory of our mind first. Then conquer the territory that's out of us. Right? We saying that?
Yes.
What else? Healing. Works of his hands is works of the kingdom. We should be functioning in healing. Right? That's spiritual, natural, and holistic. Healing, we should have dominion over the works of his hand. The works of his hands is our emotions. That's the works of his hand. We're supposed to have dominion over them emotions, how I feel.
Yeah.
We should have dominion over this mind. This mind is the work of his hand.
Right.
My thoughts. You don't tell me what to do. I had to tell this person here.
Yeah.
Bro, you don't tell me what to think.
Yeah.
No, we ain't receiving that today.
Right.
Okay, I control you. But ain't that the works of his hand?
Yes.
See, we want to just get to the sheep and the oxen and the bulls and the goats because that's easy. But when it comes to this nature, which is our body and our spirit, which is the works of his hands, we don't want to talk about that. You see what I'm saying? We want to cast out a demon, but we don't want to cast out them wicked thoughts. You see what I'm saying?
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
This whole thing is about dominion over the territory, which is the Most High's.
Wow.
Say, I am the Most High's
The Most High
territory. He has given me
He has given me
dominion
dominion
over the works
of the work
of His territory.
of His
Go with that mindset. You got to make the kingdom of the Shamayim just like the kingdom of the earth. Or the kingdom of the earth just like the kingdom of the Shamayim. That's why he said, let your will be done in the Shamayim just as it is on, let your will be done in earth just as it is in the Shamayim.
Yes.
Right? So I'm going to make the fullness of who I am match up with my eternal spirit of what He has set me to be in the Shamayim. See what I'm saying? Having dominion and mortifying this flesh. All right? We see that?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, we finna move now. What time is it?
7:54.
Oh, have mercy. All right, we're finna move. Daniel 7, let's talk about territory. So we understand that the Most High desires to conquer. Right? He desires to conquer. He desires to have dominion. He don't want His rulership just to be in the heavens, but He wants His rulership to also be on the earth. We see that? Hallelujah. Hold on a minute. Right. And we see that, let me read this real quick. We see that in Genesis 1 and 28. It says, Yahuwah blessed them and said them to them, He told them to be fruitful, to multiply, to replenish, and to subdue the earth. So we see what our calling is. Whenever you're going to take a territory, He wants you to be fruitful. He wants you to multiply. He wants you to replenish the earth and subdue it. We got that? Do we understand what that means even spiritually in our lives?
Yes.
When He said be fruitful, He wants you to be fruitful. That we just read that in Colossians 1 and 9, being fruitful in every good work. That means when I'm going to a place, whether it be a job, whether it be a new territory, whether there be an assembly, whether there be an idea, whether there be my gift, I'm going to be fruitful in it. I'm not going to stop till I see fruit.
Right.
I'm not quitting till I see fruit. I'm not stopping at the first no. I'm going till I see fruit. I'm pushing till I see fruit. Right? Then I'm multiplying and then I'm replenishing and all right, let me keep going. Subduing. Daniel 7. Daniel 7 and 14. Let's look at this. We talking about the territory of a kingdom. Right? We knowing that in earth is Jerusalem. Daniel 7 and 14. And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom that all nations and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and His kingdom shall not be destroyed.
Wow.
So when this kingdom comes, its dominion is going to be all over the earth. All people, nations, language shall serve this kingdom. Its dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, the kingdom will not be destroyed. Revelations 5 and 10. And it has made us unto Yahuwah kings and priests, and we shall reign over the what? Over the earth. We shall reign over the earth. So our dominion is not just going to be in Jerusalem. It's going to be where?
Over the earth.
All over the earth. Headquarters going to be in Jerusalem, but His dominion, the earth is going to be subjugated to the Most High.
Yes.
And to Yahushua. Right? Genesis 15 to 18. In that same day, Yahuwah made a covenant with Abram, saying, unto your seed I have given you this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, and the river of Euphrates. So we see that little spot that the Jewish people is over now is not what we're going to have as our dominion. Right? Our dominion going to be all over the earth.
Yeah.
Right? And then we see even when we talk about the land, it says I'll give you the land from the river of Egypt unto the great rivers, to the rivers of the Euphrates. When you look at on that map, that's that whole portion of that we're going to have, right? Now, I don't want to get into this because I ain't looked into it all yet, but that land might not even be the land that we're talking about. But we're gonna have to just let the Most High reveal and see. Now let's get the people that have a covenant with the land. I want to make sure I'm doing the right thing. Yeah, okay. All right. Deuteronomy 30, verse 3. That then Yahuwah thy Elohim would turn our captivity and have compassion on us, and will return and gather us from all the nations where the Yahuwah has scattered us. And if there be any driven out from the outmost parts of the heaven, from thence will Yahuwah thy Elohim gather thee, and from thence he will fetch thee. And Yahuwah thy Elohim will bring thee into where? The land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it. And he would do you good there, and multiply thee above thy fathers. So right now we kind of short right now. We kind of short. It ain't a whole lot of, we getting killed all over. It's more women than men right now. You look at police killing us all over the folk on this other earth. We killing each other all over on the four corners of the earth. We been killed by oppressors. We killing each other, right? And then the other death sentence is homosexuality. Because there can't be what? The point of homosexuality is death.
Yes.
Because there's no multiplication with it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But the Most High has a covenant with us, so it don't matter what's against us. He said that I'm going to multiply you above your fathers. That's my promise to you when I bring you into the land. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So sisters, don't y'all worry about it. Y'all gonna get y'all a man if you got to raise one up. If you got to raise one up, you gonna get your man. Hey, if you make it to the kingdom, don't worry about it. You gonna be both. Hey, if he got to send one from the Shabbat
Hallelujah.
and drop them off down here, there gotta be some multiplication going on. You gonna get you a man now. Don't worry about that.
I guess that's what's going on.
No, I don't believe it.
We can stop multiplying.
I'm just playing, y'all. Y'all go get y'all man before then. The Most High he cleaning them up right now. He cleaning them up now. Y'all just got to get clean. He cleaning them up now. The Most High say, just don't embarrass me now. I give you this man and your behind still crazy.
All right, that's a good word.
Don't you embarrass the Most High now. He done created that man for the Shamayim and you done sent them back. That man on the rooftop trying to get back to the heavens.
I got a lot to work in this.
All right, let's roll. Jeremiah 16, 14 through 17. Therefore, behold.
What was that scripture?
Jeremiah 16, verse 14 through 17. We finna wrap up in a minute. Sorry, I gotta kind of cut it short. We're gonna make it last a little longer next week, but we're gonna go through these scriptures and that'll be it. Jeremiah 16, 14 through 17. We're talking about territory. Why do you need to know this? You need to understand who he's coming to get, where they're going, and then why. If we're talking about, the reason this is so important because this deals with what the Most High is mindful of. It ain't about what you mindful of. It's about what the Most High is mindful of in the end times. So you have to understand who he's coming to get and where he's taking them. That he desire, because a king can't have a kingdom without a people and without a territory.
That's right.
Yes, ma'am. Jeremiah 16, 14 through 17. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahuwah, that it shall no more be said that Yahuwah liveth, that brought up the children out of the land of Egypt. But Yahuwah liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands whither he had driven them. I will bring them again into their land that I gave their fathers. He said, I will do that. I'm not a man that I shall lie. Now I'm the son of man that I should repent. Yes. If I spoke it, I shall do it. If he said he gonna do it, he gonna do it.
Do it.
I don't care what they got set up. I don't care if they got an Air Force in space. We going back to the land because he said it.
Yes.
So this is why your hope has to be in the promises while we see so much death. Notice that we're still talking about the first Exodus now.
Yes.
He said we won't even be talking about that no more. We won't be saying Yahuwah liveth that brought us out of the land of Egypt. But Yahuwah liveth that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north and from all the lands where ye have driven them, and bring us again into the land that I gave to your fathers. Why would we be talking about that? And why would that one be greater? What you say, Kim? Come on, talk now. Oh, yeah, I caught you. Talk to me. What you say?
Because we're scattered.
Because we're scattered. We ain't in one place no more.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? We ain't just in Egypt, but we everywhere. And you know, it's going to take, I don't know how he's going to do this.
I know.
Like, when you just sit there and think about, like, how we going to get out of this?
That's how we're going to talk about it.
Right.
Because
it's going to have to be like something the world ain't seen. Because if you look at them jokers set up to make sure we don't get out of this captivity. You know the technology they got?
Yeah.
You think you're going to hide your way out?
Right.
You think you're going to be able to go to Africa right now and hide your way out? No. You think you're going to be able to go to South America and hide? Them jokers got the land, they got it mapped out. The only way we're going to be able to go places and hide is the doggone Malaks. We're going to have to go in some portals and take a whole group of people in the portal. But he said he's going to have us in his on his feathers, right, in his Phibion. But you know that it's going to have to be some, I'll be sitting there thinking about how in the world we going to get out this thing.
No, me too.
Like, it's crazy. Then we crazy. That's another thing, like, ooh. What's that? Now, I want y'all to think about this. Oh, we're going to read that scripture. So we see the Most High going to get us out. All right? So it's going to be amazing. I don't know how he's going to do it, but he spoke it. Just like he spoke we was going to be in captivity, and then we go through it. Yeah. Everything he spoke happened to us then. So he going to have to do this. That's what I bank on.
Now, Maury, can I ask a question?
Now,
the Northern Kingdom and Judah have to be together before all that even happens, right?
Well, he going to we'll go to Ezekiel and look at that, right? But yeah, he's going to bring us together. Ezekiel 20 and 33 through 38. So now let's talk about an Exodus. Let me ask y'all something. All right, then we're going to hurry up. In the first Exodus, did you have to live a righteous life to leave?
No.
No.
Y'all didn't know who he was.
They didn't know him.
That blood.
You just had to obey that instruction, which was get your behind in that house.
Right.
But some people just like, hey, I'm going in there. And some Egyptians went in there. I'm going in there. So it wasn't about righteousness. Right?
Right.
But everybody went to the wilderness. Watch what I'm going to show you. The second Exodus, when it says in Romans 11 that all of Israel will be saved, right? And we're going to the wilderness again. There shall be a second Exodus. We do know that it is going to be some unrighteous that make it to the wilderness. We do know that. Why am I saying that? Because somebody can hear the call to obey a direct command. If the Most High say, go over there, then go over there, then that's going to lead you into the path, right? Because we got a covenant on us that all can be saved. But all ain't going to make it, right? They might get to the wilderness, but in the wilderness, they're going to be judged. Because if everybody's righteous, who is that person behind there eating that mouse and that pig? The Most High going to destroy. It's going to be some rebels. And I'm thinking about, at least when they came out of Egypt, they wasn't as crazy as us. Like, we got another level. Y'all know what we've been subjugated to.
Yes.
You can look at it with what even happened to in Katrina. How, and it, well, I can't put that just on that because there's a lot of crazy stuff that happened, what the government did. But when you look at us, man, we're going to be in that wilderness. Them jokers going to be out there twerking. Them jokers going to be out there having doggone parties, orgies, fish fries, killing up hogs and frying them up and putting them on the grill. They going, y'all, can you imagine? Because all they have to do, if you got people that know right now not to take, and they ain't righteous not at all, but they know not to take a vaccine. They know not to take a mark, right? And what is one of the requirements in order to go as an Israelite? You don't take that. You got some crazy Gentile right now, ain't fooling with no mark.
Right.
But when they get in there, when they get to that wilderness, it's going to be about righteousness.
Right.
I think the true leaders, I think we're qualifying for the 144 to be sealed, to be the leaders that's going to be in the wilderness leading. Because if you're righteous now, you're going to be righteous then. If you're wicked now, you're going to be wicked then. That's why it says, let the righteous be righteous what? Still. Let the wicked be wicked what? Still. We saying that? Exodus 20 and 33 through 38. Some people think they're going to slide off in there. Okay. You're going to slide right off into a Malachim. Going to cut you off. Ezekiel 20, 33 through 38.
Ezekiel 23.
Ezekiel 20.
23.
Verse 33 through 38. And I'll read that. Because this whole lesson by going back to the territory. As Yahuwah liveth said, as I live said Yahuwah, surely with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and with fury poured out will I rule over you. And I will bring you out from the people, and I will gather you out the countries wherein you were scattered. How you going to do it? With a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out. Right? So that's talking about the Exodus. It's going to be amazing. Next verse. And I will bring you into where?
Wilderness.
Of who?
The people.
And there I will do what? Plead with you face to what?
Face.
Have that happened yet?
No.
Now this how you know it's going to be a natural wilderness. The next verse. Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, said Yahuwah. That's going to be even amazing. I'm just trying to figure out how all this going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Marty.
Uh-huh.
I done read that several times. I missed that for some reason where it says the wilderness of the peoples.
Yeah.
Of the people.
And so is that the wilderness like say there's over here in America, there's going to be a wilderness here, those that's in South America, there's a wilderness there, and so on and so forth?
Well, we all going through, I really can't say. I do know, all I can do is go off the pattern before. when we first left, he didn't take them into because it says that let's read it again. To let you know that it's not going to be just a wilderness in our areas. But it says, I will bring you out from the people, so it's going to be a people of a landmass that we come out from. 34. That's 34. And gather you out of the country, so we got to leave the country. Wherein you were scattered. That let us know that we ain't going to be in the wilderness right now in America, because we got to come out from the country and from the people. Praise the Most High for that. Then with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out, then watch, I will bring you into the wilderness of the people. And there I will plead with you face to face.
Other people, that means like somewhere where certain people are, right?
Could be. I don't know. I don't know. That's a great study right there. Some of y'all can do. What is the wilderness of the people?
That's interesting.
That's very interesting. Is that a place where there was a wilderness that happened before?
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
I mean, just based off what you said about the patterns of before.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe what you're saying about, the wilderness, like when the Israelites first came out of, Egypt the first time, they were traveling, through different people's territories, asking them to, can we pass through?
Yes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're passing through different wildernesses, through different people's territories. That might be what it means.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a good
That's
answer.
a good answer.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
But
Hallelujah. Anybody else?
Could it be the people also mean of the people pretending to be us? It could be around in that wilderness area.
Okay. Possibility.
Where I guess I was going to say, because that's where he was going to come and, fight for us, right?
Right.
Area.
Could be.
So it could be that.
Could be. I don't specifically know. Anybody else?
Yeah, the wilderness could be Africa, where people already are.
Right.
And when he judged us there, might get the people to carry out his judgment on us.
That could be very true, Elder.
Africans, yes, carry out his judgment.
That can be very true. That can be very true. And it says, there I will plead with you, what? Face to face. Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith Yahuwah. And I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant. And I will purge, notice this, now this is how I know it's going to be some crazy people go with us. I will purge out from among you the who?
Rebels.
And them that transgress against what?
My order.
And I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter the land of Israel. And you shall know that I am Yahuwah. So that's even dealing with, that can be some people that was trying to walk in righteousness, but they got out there and just got to rebelling. I don't know where they going. I want to go back to America. America, we had French fries, we had Burger King, you know what I'm saying? We had good eating in America.
Bacon.
Can I ask you a question, Maureen?
Go ahead.
So, you know how he brought our ancestors out through the water? Do you think that he's going to bring us out through the fire? Like a literal fire? You think we're going to walk through fire?
Yeah, we can. All right, we don't know. I'm going to show you where we're going to walk through some water again now. You may be, so y'all making it longer now. Y'all making it longer. But I'm gonna take it. I gotta go to these scriptures because you said that. But yeah, I tell you what. Let's go to did I finish that? Where that scripture? Let's go to Isaiah 11.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna come back and go to Isaiah 35.
Okay, 11.
Alright, somebody read Isaiah 11 starting at verse 10.
And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious.
Keep on going all the way down.
And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahushua shall set his hand again the second time.
The second time.
To recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Patros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart.
Praise the Most High.
And the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. But they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines toward the west. They shall spoil them of the east together. They shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab.
Praise the Most High for that.
And the children of Ammon shall obey them. And Yahuwah shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea. And with his mighty wind shall he shake his hand over the river, and shall smite it in the 7 streams.
Alright, gonna shake his hand over the river and shall smite it into 7 strings.
Wow.
And what's gonna happen? There ain't gonna be one thing we're going past. We're gonna smite it into 7 strings and keep going.
And make men go over dry shows.
Verse 16.
And there shall be an highway for the remnant of his people.
So these streams gonna create a highway for the remnant of his people.
Wow.
Which shall be left from Assyria, like as it was to Israel in the day that he came up out of the land of Egypt.
Now let's go to Isaiah 35. Notice how everywhere we scatter when we coming out, we're gonna be seeing some miracles. That way when we come together, boy, we're going to be rejoicing and telling about how great of a mighty work that the Most High did to bring us there.
Hallelujah.
See how powerful that's going to be?
Yes.
Yes.
Now let's read Isaiah 35. I love this one here. We talked about that remnant and that highway. Let's read this. I'll read it. And we talking about the wilderness. And the wilderness and the solitary place shall be glad for them. So the wilderness ain't gonna look like no wilderness. It's gonna be glad for them. It's some places, y'all, that ain't been inhabited yet that we gonna go to for a time. The wilderness and the solitary. Notice the wilderness and the solitary place. That means a place that we're gonna be able to go and rest for a season on our way. Shall be glad from them, and the desert shall rejoice and blossom like what? So as we going, we're gonna see them things blossoming. Why? Why is that going to be happening? Because the earth It's waiting on the full manifestation of the sons. Why? Because heaven and earth was called to witness our what? Covenant. So this is why it's going to respond to us. It shall blossom abundantly. Rejoice even with joy and singing. Y'all know we're going to be tearing it up. And the glory of Lebanon shall be given unto it. The excellencies of Carmel and Sharon. There shall see the glory of Yahuwah and the excellency of our Aluah. Now watch this. Strengthen ye the weak hands and confirm the feeble weeds. Won't nobody be there, need no walker, no cane, no wheelchair, no nothing.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
The weak hands and the feeble knees going to be strengthened. Say to them that are fearful heart, be strong. Fear not. Behold, Yahuwah will come with vengeance. Even Yahuwah will recompense. He will come and save us. Watch what's going to be happening. Miracles. Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf shall be unstopped. Then shall the lame man leap as a hart, and the tongue of the dumb shall sing. For in the wilderness shall waters break out, and streams in deserts. And the parched ground shall become a pool. Right? Can you imagine walking somewhere and that thing just fill up full of water? I'm talking about water like Shamayim where the water is clear as crystals. Can you imagine that? And the thirsty land springs of water, and the habitations of dragon which they lay shall be grass with weeds, reeds, and rushes. There go the highway again, and a highway shall be there. A way, it shall be called the way of holiness. The unclean shall not pass over it, but it shall be for those, the wayfaring men, the fools shall not err in it. So it's going to be some places where there's going to be a distance that's created from the righteous and the unrighteous. Some miracles that only the righteous going to be able to pass through to the other side. Because he's going to be constantly purging. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Verse 9. No lion shall be there, nor any ravenous beast shall go up thereon. It shall not be found there, but the redeemed shall walk there. And the ransom of Yahuwah shall return, and come to Zion with songs and everlasting joy upon their heads. And they shall obtain joy and gladness, and sorrow and sighing shall flee away from them.
Oh, hallelujah.
Ezekiel 36 and 35. Let's talk about this territory one more time. Ezekiel 36. Uh-huh.
Then in verse 10 he said, and come to Zion with songs.
Yep, and the ransom of Yahuwah shall return and come to Zion with songs and everlasting joy upon their heads.
And we're the ransom, right?
We are the ransom.
And Zion, and we are Zion too, right?
We are Zion, and also Zion is a place which is also known as Jerusalem.
Ah, okay. Gotcha.
Yes, ma'am. We're going to be singing Jerusalem, Jerusalem, yeah, Jerusalem.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Sounds good.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Ezekiel 36 and 35. We're going back home, y'all.
Woo.
And they, watch what we're going to say. And they shall say, this land that was desolate is become like the Garden of Eden.
Wow.
And the waste and the desolate and rooted cities have become fenced and are inhabited again. You see that?
Yeah.
This is why it's kind of like, to me, and I'll just let y'all know where my mind at with that. It's kind of tricky right there because it's saying that the land that was desolate will become like the Garden of Eden. So it seems like it's talking about a place that it's just desolate, like nobody's really like there. I have dominion over that place. It's supposed to be like a wasteland, desolate, ruined cities have now become fenced and inhabited. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That seems like it's more to it than what we. Y'all know, there's so many lies out there, so it just, most likely just be bringing more and more into what he's trying to get. But I'm just like I said, happy about the land gonna be responding to us now. Which would be a beautiful thing. But I wanted to hit that territory to let everybody know the territories that we're going back to and our way back and why that is important. So that's the other aspect of the kingdom. There's more scriptures and stuff that you can go to reveal it and to see it. You can pick that up on your own time. But it's good to just go over these promises, man. So you can get your faith up in confidence, right? So that's that. We talked about the king. We talked about the territory. I think next week we're going to talk about either the law returning, or we're either going to talk about the people. I think I might end up talking about the people. The people of the covenant, what we're going to look like, and what we're going to be doing in the sense of in our glorified bodies or in our fullness. All right. Well, that's it for the day, family. We ask that you take these things. Do any of y'all? Did I get this PowerPoint out?
I didn't get it, Maury.
Who didn't get it?
No, I didn't get it either.
I didn't get it.
You don't give it out, Maury.
I didn't give it out?
No.
Well, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I mean, it's good to take notes and make your own notes, but I'll give it to you. The only thing about it, y'all be able to look at your thing and answer all the questions. You know what I'm saying? But I still send it to you. I send it to you tonight, Zipporah, and then she'll send it out to everybody. Anybody got any other questions, comments, or concerns?
I just want to just clarify the reason why I asked about the fire, and I'm not trying to get back into Bible study. I know we're gonna go. Is because of Isaiah 43:2, when he said, "I was with you in the water, and I'll be with you through the fire, and you won't get burned." Pretty much something like that.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure we're gonna be seeing fire because they're gonna be blowing up places.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that he's gonna. That's a good verse. Drop that in the chat.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be some places that when war going on or whatever's going on, we're gonna be passing through. Right.
Maury,
Mm-hmm.
there was a cloud the day and fire by night.
Right. Hallelujah.
In Egypt, so I'm sure it's gonna be some kind of fire.
It's gonna be some fire. That's right. That's good. Anybody else? Hallelujah. I love everybody. Appreciate you online. Again, look for the Rebirth Bridge page that will have these uploads to a lot of the foundational information. This week we're going to be uploading some more things on there. Josh did a whole series on Romans saving Shaul. Great foundational series. We're going to put that on there. Remember, we put all this the series about proving that the law is still established and why that's important. And then this week we're going to put in some of the stuff by Shaul. I'm going to put in the teaching about who Shaul audience was, who Paul audience was. And then I'm going to put in also, it was an address where some people were saying Paul was a deceiver and that the apostles didn't really accept him and they rejected him. So I got a whole teaching that kind of kills that. Did the apostles really reject Paul, or did Yahushua reject Paul? So we got a whole teaching on that we did years ago. But we're uploading all that foundational stuff. But we love you, and we're going to bid you shalom online. Shalom, shalom.